What's up, you worthless sons of bitches? It's the Word on the Street podcast, bringing you an impromptu podcast out of nowhere just after UFC 157. It was the Ronda Rousey versus who even remembers her name anymore, doesn't matter, with Hendo and Machida as the co-main event. Um, and of course, if you watched that, we'll get into it a little bit later. With me, as always, is my co-host Ninja. Ninja, how are you doing, sir?
The ninja, I'm doing good, man.
Excellent, man. Good to have you on as always on the Word on the Street podcast, bringing you the latest UFC rumors, news, predictions, and ridiculous, preposterous takes and speculation and opinions on MMA in general, which is what this is going to be. We don't have any guests in particular lined up. We're just opening it up to people on Skype and on the phones here. But we will be talking about UFC 157 mainly, and a couple other topics I just jotted down off the top of my fucking head here. But first things first, UFC 157. Holy shit. Ronda Rousey versus, it's coming to me now, Liz Carmouche for the title, the women's bantamweight title. Ronda, of course, started out already crowned with the belt. It was up to fucking Liz to try and take it, which she actually did. This looked like a really good, fair fight, actually, in the end. Everybody thought it was just going to be a like a setup for Ronda to just knock that bitch down. But it actually was a little bit of a war. Liz rode Ronda like a damn backpack. Almost got that neck-breaking choke there. I don't know why she let it go. I don't know about that part. But yeah, of course, Ronda, no surprise, first round armbar submission, all day. Ninja, what did you think of the main event at UFC 157?
What a great fight that was. Yeah, Carmouche didn't. She just shocked me, as I'm sure she shocked the world. I mean, I was predicting just judo sweep, armbar, game over. But she's a bad chick, man. That neck crank looked like it was gonna shock the world. It was gonna be the neck crank heard around the world. Joe Rogan say neck crank schools would be blaring up around the world if she had got that. But I don't know. There's some controversy over a tap that I'm hearing that I didn't necessarily see, but my girl, my future wife, Ronda Rousey, takes her down, armbar. What is it, like 7-0, all first round armbars? That's craziness. That's impressive. Loved it.
Yeah, and you did bring up something very important about this main event here. Um, I've got to say, when I was watching it live on TV, I did see Ronda Rousey tap, man. I saw it. It was a one tap. It was with her right hand on one of Liz's legs or something. It was right before, Liz is hanging on, choking Ronda, trying to break her neck. Ronda's biting the shit out of Liz's arm there. It's getting hot and heavy, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what's gonna happen next. Ronda's face is starting to turn white, that crank was tight. It was a tight fucking choke. But then, right before Liz lets go and gets dumped off, if you want to call it that, by Ronda, right before she shakes her off miraculously like it was the WWE, I saw it at least. I saw Ronda Rousey fucking tap. She tapped one time. Uh, Maybe Big John McCarthy, who was the ref, didn't see it. Like I said yesterday on Twitter, he was too busy staring at those sweet breasts that were almost spilling out of that damn bra from Ronda, man. That's another thing, Ninja. What was with that fucking bra that Ronda was wearing? She even referred to it as bra. It wasn't even her top or like, I don't know what the word is, like her femme or what. I don't know what the fuck it's called. She referred to it.
Febby.
She referred to it as a bra. Now that thing, it would not. I don't see how that thing is even legal under the commission rules. It's like so. It has so many finger traps. That fucking whatever that top was that Ronda Rousey was wearing. It was preposterous how many straps it needed. Yeah, it was probably the only thing that kept her fucking breasts from spilling out all over the place. But it had like 18 straps. 18 fucking straps on it. Why? Why would you need that
You
shit?
you know that thing. You know she had so much tape on and crap under that, pasties and all that.
Pasty.
I little tassels. Let's face it, Ronda Rousey's a freak. Come on. I mean, I know we try to keep this PG here, but I'm gonna break those. Go back to the old WWF days. Bring some attitude to this damn podcast. Ronda
Yep.
Rousey is a nasty girl. She is a freak. So she's getting in that neck crank. She had freaking Carmouche up all over the. She was just looking for something to touch. Maybe Ronda Rousey's a knee chick. Maybe she likes knees. I don't know. I don't know what her fetishes is, but it was getting hot and heavy. Ronda Rousey, man, she's just letting that thing go. She might be into all that bondage, submission stuff. I
Hmm.
don't know. But I can tell you one thing is the collective. There must be millions of people around the world, men, women. I don't care. You know, you're all freaks. Just wanting that top just to pop off. I mean,
Yep.
those straps. Come on. If you made straps and you knew Ronda Rousey was gonna wear it, why wouldn't you make it come off? I mean, come
Yep.
on.
Yeah.
Really?
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the whole UFC plan from day one. Eight, but still 18 fucking. Wait, I'm counting it right now in front of my very own eyes. 14 straps on that bra. Why do you need so many fucking straps? It doesn't make any sense at all. If you were trying to wrestle or get a grip on that girl, your fingers would get just locked into those straps, interlocked in like a damn Chinese finger trap. You'd probably end up with broken fingers. There's no way that's a legit. There's no way that passes the commission's inspection, man. I'm calling bullshit on Ronda Rousey's fucking top. Whatever that
And
was,
and
it's got to go.
let's be honest, whose hand is not going to be drawn to that out there? Men, women, who's if we're in a fight with Ronda Rousey, that's where my hand goes. That's where it goes. Oh, my hand's intertwined. Oops,
Yep.
sorry.
Yeah, and you're so used to whenever a girl gets in that close with you, you're used to just reaching behind her back and unhooking that bra. Except now you're tangled up in this. If it's Ronda, you're tangled up in this fucking web. You're like, oh man, I fell for it.
Which,
And then she's
no
armbarring
kidding.
you, and then your arm's broken. It ain't
I
fair.
can't get I can't get two little cheap aluminum hooks off. Now I got to get 17.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yep.
It's a
Fucking.
dream shatterer.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
didn't know they could make bras and fight crap like that. And now I have to get 17 off? I can't get one off when I'm in a jam. Jeez.
It's an outrage, man. The what the UFC is trying to pull off these days, man. But it was an exciting fight. I threw down. Oh man, I threw down the money for the pay-per-view. I'm not one of these cocksuckers that just fucking
Ooh.
downloads it and watches it online. I actually did pay money for it, man. I paid that goddamn money. I threw it down. Dana got me again, but I gotta tell you this. I seriously considered, just never buying a pay-per-view again and just seriously downloading everything from now on, just ripping the UFC off, just top to bottom, never paying again for a fight. I seriously thought about that after watching that fucking Machida versus Hendo fight, man. That was total horse shit. All right? What the hell
Here's where
was
things
that,
get
man?
interesting.
Yes. Jesus, man. That elusive Dan Henderson versus Lyoto Machida was probably one of the worst fights of all time, of all history, human history. All right, I'm talking cavemen were fighting better than this shit. I've seen more exciting fights go down on Facebook or on World Star Hip Hop. That fucking elusive gimmick, it worked for Lyoto Machida at first, but now he just looks like a dude who's afraid of getting hit. It looks like he broke into Clay Guida's locker room and stole the fucking playbook, man. It was pathetic. Henderson versus Machida. Ninja, what did you think of that, if you even want to call it a fight? I don't know, man.
Okay, first of all, there, buddy,
Yeah.
Machida is the man. Okay, before this is true in Ninja World, 100% truth. Before Shale Sonnen came into my life, and I saw the light, I saw the ever loving light of that man that is Shale P. Sonnen. Machida was my guy, my favorite fighter. I love Lyoto Machida, and I thought he worked Dan Henderson. I know I'm gonna get hate mail, there's gonna be mail bombs and all that kind of stuff coming for the ninja, but it's okay because I love Lyoto Machida. In that fight, first of all, let's give Dan Henderson his props. I was really afraid of Dan Henderson in this fight, as everybody should be. Everybody should be afraid of Dan Henderson in any fight. And Machida just worked him, controlled him. I mean, I'm not going to stand there and get hit with an H-bomb. Who wants to do that? Stay away. If Hendo wants to come in and knock you out and throw that H-bomb, make him work for it. Make him come in. And it was a close fight. The decision, split decision, and it went to Machida, which I thought it was very deserving of that. But, I mean, that's the guy's game. That is Hendo's game, is to come in and land that one right hand. And Machida made him miss. He didn't land that hand. He landed leg kicks, I think, was the biggest discrepancy in the stats. Machida implemented his game, whether people like it or hate it. Machida's game is to get the heck away from your punching. And he still managed to strike, and he still did pretty well at that. He landed way more headshots, way more significant strikes. And all but be it that stupid takedown that was ridiculous from Hendo. Nobody saw that coming.
Yeah.
Machida just imposed his will, imposed his game. And I think that's what the judges saw, and I personally agree with that.
I'll tell you what I saw, man. I saw a bum fight, all right? I saw two bums fighting in there for a paycheck. None of them cared. It was almost like they had a deal not to hurt each other, all right? We expected Hendo versus Machida to be a fucking war. Maybe 5 years ago, it would have been. But not today, not in the year 2013, man. Both these guys looked like fucking bumps. Dan Henderson comes out there wearing fucking more knee padding than he looked like he was fucking RoboCop, all right? It was ridiculous how much padding was on that damn knee. And he was stiff as hell. He was punching like RoboCop. You remember how slow that fucking guy was? Peter Murphy from Detroit. Jesus. Yep. Dan Henderson fought like a total bum. He was throwing punches that weren't even in Machida's general direction. He might as well have been like shadowboxing in his garage or some shit. Hendo looked like so much of a bum. I felt bad for the guy, and I seriously, Ninja, I wanted to hand him a few bucks after the fight, dude. It was bad.
But that's Machida, though. That's what Machida does. He doesn't fight nobodies. He makes them look like nobodies, and that's what he did to Hendo. Anytime Hendo was like, I'm gonna get you with this one, Machida was standing in the front row. That's Machida's game.
Look,
every time that H-bomb, every time that fuse got lit, Machida was out of there. Machida was watching from the back, and then comes back out, gets in the ring. I don't know if anybody saw that, but I mean, isn't that the greatest tactic in the world? Am I the only one that's like, I don't want to get hit with the H-bomb, so I'm going to go stand over here. Oh, Dan Henderson comes over here. Well, I don't want to get hit with the H-bomb over here. Well, I'm going to go stand over here. Excellent tactics.
I understand, but I understand what you're saying about Machida, the Dragon. But here's my counterpoint, though. Like, yes, he used to be known as an elusive. That's his whole thing. He's elusive, right? Except Machida in his prime was an elusive counter-striker. Here, he was just plain elusive. He was just running, man. He was just running like a pussy. He's not the same kind of elusive that he was, man. He's not hitting you back. He wasn't. After Hendo would just flail in the air helplessly, slow motion like. Machida wasn't hitting him back. He wasn't coming back with anything. Machida 5 years ago would have just clocked that guy. Hell, he did it to Ryan Bader. I mean, shit, Ryan Bader was faster than Hendo. This fight was supposed to be an epic clash of the Titans. But instead, what we got was Greg Jackson's fucking wet dream come true. All right, you're supposed to, if you're Machida, you're supposed to stick and then move. You know, stick and then move, not just move, move, move. Hendo, man, Hendo fucking looked to be in the early stages of rigor mortis. It should have been easy, man. He was swinging away at nothing. I had to fucking slap Clay with his mama because I'm damn sure her son had something to do with this bullshit fight. Maybe he was coaching both of them. I don't know. Maybe maybe they were getting advice from Clay Guida, both of them. The only reason I haven't asked for my money back is because I got to see fucking Koscheck get knocked out like he was a goddamn
Yeah,
white belt. The Koscheck fight versus Robbie Lawler, man. Did you see that coming? What'd you think?
that was insane. Again, I'm not a very big fan of Josh Koscheck. That was just cool. That was all right. There a lot of people again. Stop. Was it a good stoppage? Was it not? I thought it was a good stoppage. Koscheck was down. Koscheck looked like he didn't want to fight anymore. Ruthless Robbie Lawler gets a win. It's great to see him win. First win since like 2004. Great night for Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even. Yeah, I know it's Robbie Lawler because like I had to talk about him on the podcast before. But seriously, anybody could have knocked out fucking Koscheck, and I'd just be happy. I don't care who it is, as long as Koscheck gets knocked the fuck out. That's the only reason I'm not complaining about the $50 that I spent to see UFC 157.
Now, my question for you now is with all these cuts looming and everybody's in danger of getting cut, do you think Koscheck is in danger of getting cut?
Oh yeah, he has absolutely no fan base whatsoever. Nobody likes him. Nobody in the UFC likes him either, man. He is the red-steaded Hepchild, if you will, of the UFC. Nobody wants this guy around, all right? Even his friends, man. Oh man, they're trying to. Even the people that run his gym for him are trying to like. They're like, dude, Koscheck, sell your gym, dudes. You should just sell it, dude. This guy has This guy has cars and planes. I think we saw in some UFC Tonight episode. Well, guess what, man? It's time to sell that shit, dude, because you lost this fight and you look like a bum to a bum. Robbie Lawler hasn't fought in the UFC in something like 10 years. He knocked your ass out in what, less than one round? Oh, god damn it. I hope Robbie Lawler got a bonus. I don't even remember who did, but I hope it went to Lawler. Koscheck, good riddance. I think yeah, he's definitely on the top of that cut list, man, but they might keep him around. Who knows? Who else do you think should get cut, man? Is there somebody on your list? Do you even have a list? Or are you against this whole thing?
I haven't thought about that yet. I heard rumors on my end, word on the street is that Faber was in danger of getting cut if he did not win, which would have been sad. I think right now anybody that loses a fight is probably really scared. As well, you should be. I think Dana White's got a lot of good potential guys coming in. He's got a lot of young talent coming in. He's got a whole Ultimate Fighter season. Check out our podcast tomorrow, live after TEF.
Hell yeah.
He's got a whole house full of people coming in, good fighters that are going to come in, and it's time for some of these old, boring people to go. So if you're in the UFC right now and you're not winning, you might not want to check your mailbox, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I wonder how they do find out. Is it like they get a text message, an email, maybe their manager gets called up? I don't know how that works, man, getting cut from the UFC. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because it would never happen to me. I mean, I am going to fight in the UFC, but it would never happen to me. They'll never cut my ass. But yeah, I've always wondered how that news is received, man. That's gotta suck. Some guys even found out on Twitter, man. That's pretty shitty. But you know, you were
Hey man, you've been cut.
Yep. If you found that on Twitter, like how badass of a fighter were you? Probably you probably weren't. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yep.
The old pink slip in the mail, FedEx.
Yep. I hope there's just when they give when the UFC cuts Clay Guida, I hope there's like a cam on him or somebody busts out their iPhone or something, just so we can see what that's like. I want to see Clay Guida's face. Hopefully his mama's around too when he gets cut from the UFC.
Man.
Yep. Speaking of another thing, well actually UFC 157. What else was a badass fight on that card? What else was good?
Urijah Faber's win. I liked that.
Oh yeah, what the fuck was up with Urijah Faber? Shit, Ivan Menjivar, right? What'd you think of that shit?
Right. That spider monkey thing that he did there at the end, like the standing crucifix into like a standing back mount into like some spider monkey choke. That was awesome. It was great to see Urijah Faber do something other than punch, get to use his skills. Not a huge fan of the California kid. He needs to get that butt chin fixed because it just annoys the crap out of me.
Yeah, it's
Like,
preposterous.
like seriously. I mean, do you think he gets food trapped in there or something? I mean, does he actually have to clean it out? I seriously wondered that. I was wondering that. I mean, do things get trapped in there?
It's a good call,
Um,
man. I wouldn't know, man. My chin's pretty normal, I think.
have to ask him 'cause, I mean, that's like a cave. That's a little cavern. I mean, you have to shave inside of that, like nose hair. Or, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that definitely isn't normal. Something's wrong with him. Yeah. And yeah, he rode that fucking Ivan like a backpack. He had the backpack choke on him, man. That was pretty good. We've seen that a lot recently in the UFC. It's
These guys, and that was the thing is maybe Faber knew, and maybe because Faber took that chance. I mean, trying to jump and give up your position, and the possibility of getting slammed and dumped on your fucking head. I mean, just taking that chance of throwing any flying submission technique is,
mhm.
that's a big risk, and it was good. It's good to see Faber take that because I think it adds something to the UFC. Adds a little flash and flare. I kind of like that.
Yeah, and I noticed that fucking Uriah, he came out with his hands wrapped to oblivion, man. He had so much extra hand wrapping. He was basically wearing two hand casts. He had casts all over his goddamn hand. The wrapping was ridiculous, and if you notice in the fight, he didn't even really use his fists. Once he got fucking Ivan down on the ground, he was just using pure elbows, man. I'm thinking his hands were fucked up in training at some point. Uriah Faber's known for having glass hands, glass ribs, glass everything. His bones, his bones are just every single one of his bones has been broken in his body. All right, guys, that's a UFC fact. All right, all 200 and whatnot. Was it 16, 86? I don't fucking remember. They've all been broken. All right, Uriah, man. He's fucking Glass Faber. That's his new fucking nickname, alright? He's the Glass Kid, not the California Kid. But he did pull off the win, and the UFC's already fucking talking about how he's the number two fucking in his division and how he needs another title shot next. So look, it's probably gonna be Faber for the title next. Even though he just fought for it fucking 5 minutes ago. What do you think, Ninja? Is it just me, or are they trying too hard with this fucking kid?
Yeah, they're trying too hard. Faber's a good guy. Faber's he's a good fighter. He's talented. A lot of people like him, and he's got a whole freaking state that loves this guy. Um, they're trying really hard. He's a highly marketable guy because he's so nice, so sweet. He's got that look, that poster boy freaking child look that everybody wants to get on, and the UFC, is trying to market that as much as they can. But I mean, you only get so many chances before. I mean, I'd make him fight a couple more top guys to see if he's really got it again. Um, fight some top division guys. This ranking system thing is totally crap, by the way.
Yeah.
This is stupid. Like, really, the number two guy now is going to face number one again. I mean, this is ridiculous. It totally sucks away any, because if I was number two and I had to fight a number three guy, then wait a minute, why am I not fighting a number one guy? Or,
Mhm.
that's ridiculous. A number two guy fighting a number 10 guy? Like, why am I fighting a number 10 guy? That's stupid. I should be fighting, for a title shot. But oh well, UFC does what they want to do. Faber, you're not ready, kid. Hit the gym, fight some more people. You might get back there.
Yeah, he needs to just fucking take cans and set up fights, man. Just little tune-up fights for the rest of his life. I read somewhere that Faber's something like he's undefeated in non-title fights, but he has lost every single title fight that he's had, like five of them. The past five, he's lost every single one of them. How many chances do you get, man? I thought Eminem said you only get one shot. What the fuck, Uriah? This is bullshit. Another fight. What was the other fucking fight on that card that was like,
There was a Kenny Robinson versus Brock Jardine where he had
uh,
that crazy, and this blew my mind that leg bar. Everybody's saying it's a knee bar. That's not no knee bar. That weird
oh,
like
that
tear your
straining thing?
hamstring. Yeah,
Yeah,
that tear your hamstring out of the socket, frickin' pry it from the bone knee thing he did. Where in the hell did that come from?
that
I
was a
didn't know
pretty.
people.
Yeah, that was slick, man. I've never seen that before.
I didn't know people could do that. Why don't more people do this?
Oh,
That just totally changes my whole back mount premise right there.
yep.
Holy crap!
Yeah, but if you tried to pull that shit on somebody that does like yoga, they'd be laughing at you. They'd never
Yeah,
tap
no
to that
kidding.
shit. But yeah, maybe that guy needs fucking. Maybe that should be the next thing that people in MMA train, dude. Straight up yoga and stretching,
Yoga.
dude. Just
Stretch that man. That was like a hamstring tear. That was weird. Oh, he's holding his knee. No, he's not. He's holding his hamstrings.
yep.
Out. But
Yeah, that was nuts, man. I feel that, man. My right leg is all fucked up, man. I'm worse than well, all right. I'm always praising God. I don't believe in God, but I'm always praising God that I'm not Dan Henderson as far as my right leg goes. But it's getting bad. I got a bad knee now. Now it's pain's transferring to the hip, so I understand. So seeing that submission, if anyone tried that shit on me, dude, I would die. I would pass out like due to death. That the amount of pain that would shoot through my goddamn
stoppage.
body.
Stoppage.
Yep.
Herb Mazzagatti stops this fight
Yep.
2 minutes into the very first round due to death.
Yep. It's always yeah. You gotta hope. If you're in bad shape and you get put in that position, you better hope Dean Yamasaki's around to save your ass, man. Fucking,
Exactly.
it's ridiculous,
But
man.
we need to talk about the best fight on the card. Probably the best fight of the year so far was Dennis Bermudez and his split decision win over Matt Grice. What did you think of that fight?
That fight was pretty badass. I did enjoy it. I don't know if we should jump so soon since it's only February to start declaring fights of the year because I
Fight of the
believe
year so far.
yeah because I
So far.
yeah I believe like even it was either in the last UFC event or the one before like people were saying fight of the year already on some other fight
No
and
kidding.
here we are and I don't even remember which one it was, so that tells you something. But yeah, the Bermudez fight it was badass, but round three was basically what you might consider for round of the year. Round of the year. The entire fight though, the first round, the first two rounds, it wasn't no Griffin Bonner, you know what I'm saying? But
It,
that
it,
that
it
that
had
third
that
round
feel
was.
though.
That third round
It,
had that feel. Yes.
it had
Um
that feel. In that whole, the whole first and second round kind of it adds up to the ass whooping that guy got, and then he comes back, and doesn't get knocked. He comes back and almost knocks that guy out. I mean, if that fight was in an open field, that would have been stopped. Like, so it would have got stopped at the first point of the third round. I mean, he was out on the fence and still swinging.
Yep.
Awesome fight.
Yeah, see, I don't know if it was shit. I mean, it was exciting to watch, but I mean, at the same time, it was not a Griffin Bonner in the fact that like it was basically that Grice just everyone was just amazed at how much he was getting punched in the fucking head and not falling down. Like it wasn't like, wow, look at how these guys are trading with each other. It was like, wow, Matt Grice is not going down, and occasionally he's fucking just swinging back and landing something against his bum. Um, it was awesome though, man. I was hooting and hollering, whatever. It was a great time. I'd pay money to see that fucking fight happen again. But I think it's a little premature to start calling fight of the year. But then again, I thought Hendo versus Machida would be fight of the year, and it ended up, making me depressed. And I don't ever want to see either of them fight again, honestly, to tell you the truth.
See, Dennis Bermudez and Matt Grice. The reason why I say that's fight of the year is because a true fight of the year. Yeah, yeah, and it's early. I mean, it's February, I think, still, right? I don't think I own a calendar. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I
Um,
wasn't sure. I was hoping you knew what day it was, man.
it's just all I know is it's like 68 days or some shit like that till like April or something. There's only
Oh,
one date that matters in this house, and that is April.
oh yeah, April 27th. That would be okay, it's 26th now. So the UFC 159 would be in 61 days. UFC 159 Sonnen versus Jones is in 61 days if my calculations are correct. Word on the street. It's going down in Jersey, motherfuckers. Do you have your tickets? Are you going to order that shit on pay-per-view? Have you called off work? Did you cancel your wedding? Maybe you got the kids that weekend. You got to make up some excuse, leave them with the ex-wife. All right, it ain't gonna happen. Sonnen versus Jones is going down. Ninja.
That is when the day the world is gonna end. Right there. That is the day the world is gonna end as we know it,
Mm-hmm.
and the new world is going to begin with Chael Sonnen leading the way, leading the charge as our undisputed champion.
Yep. And I gotta say, John Jones, I know you're out there listening right now. I'm just wondering one thing right now. April 28th, when you're sitting there, you're about to leave for the press conference, some interview you promised to do, thinking you would have this one in the bag. You're about to leave for that interview. You know, it's a video interview. You open up your closet, reach for that belt, the champ belt. You're doing an interview. But then up, there's nothing there. You realize you lost the fucking fight the night before. What are you gonna do then, John? How are you gonna feel? Do you know, John Jones? Do you know that when you lose to Chael Sonnen, your wife and your children, they are going to love you just a little bit less. That's the word on the street. Just a little bit. You might not notice it. They might not say it. They might not even realize it themselves. But they're going to love and respect you just a little bit less, you son of a bitch, Ron Jones. That's right. Word on the street. It's coming at you. UFC 159 Sonnen versus Jones. Chael is coming back for the belt that is rightfully his. He won it in a forfeit when John Jones refused to fight him at UFC 151. That's a fact. Ninja,
Fact.
I guess you might not make it out to Jersey, but you have that day cleared on your calendar, right? I mean, we're talking about it
Good.
right now.
I have the whole month of April cleared on my calendar for that.
That's right, man.
No, I might just walk to Jersey. I just road trip it up, hitchhike my way over to Jersey, and break my way into that freaking arena. All ninja style. I'll be watching from the rafters, son.
That's right,
Like
man.
ninjas do it.
And I'll be right next to you smoking that weed, all right? You bust out your old badge whenever we get caught, we'll smooth talk those motherfuckers. No big deal. Newark, New
Medicinal
Jersey.
popping.
Yep. Um, now, I guess another topic I wanted to little broach on here. I thought I might as well discuss. Well, just give you a quick list here, all the listeners out there, thousands of people, millions nationwide. Maybe it even goes out to other planets out there. They dig MMA, who knows? I just wanted to give out my list of the top UFC fighters that I can probably beat up. I can probably whoop these guys' ass. I've thought about it. I've analyzed the fight several times in my mind. I'm pretty sure that I could defeat them via thug jitsu or just straight up, dirty fighting. Um, the top, and hopefully, Ninja, you'll have a list of your own. Maybe there's some people you have in mind whose asses you could probably kick. I gotta say right now, on the top of my list is Clay Guida, of course. Clay Guida. I could beat this guy. I know it. I can feel it. You ever see some guy in the street or at your job, maybe? Maybe just on TV. And you just get a feeling. This person. They're weak. I could probably destroy this person with my bare hands. I could do that to Clay Guida. He's a bum. He's a runner. I mean, he taught Hendo and Machida all they know, everything they know. I could beat his ass easily. That running shit, you can't run away from thug jitsu. That's rule number one. You don't turn your back and start running.
and all that long flowing hair. You know what that's for? It's subjitsu, like ninjutsu. We use a little thing called hair holds. All that is a big handle. A big handle for my hand to hold on to as I yank that down right across my knee and you go to sleep.
Yep. When I fucking get a hold of Clay Guida, man, I'll drag his ass into my apartment, turn on that stove, and grab him by the hair and just slam his face in that hot stove over and over just by his stupid hair until his face melts off, alright? How about that, Clay Guida? I could beat his ass. He's on my list. Top UFC fighters that I can probably beat up. Next UFC fighter is Anderson Silva, of course. I don't think this guy has anything left. I think he has the speed and agility of Dan Henderson at UFC 157. I think this guy's done. Spider, I know you're listening too, man. Maybe you need this translator or whatever, so I'll talk slowly. I can defeat your ass. And I'm injured as fuck. I'm worse than Dan Henderson, Spider. You show up in Austin, Texas, show your face, and you see what happens to you, Anderson. I think this guy, he's all hype, just like Chael was trying to say. But Chael, of course, he slipped on Forrest Griffin's blood at UFC 148. It was ridiculous. It had nothing to do with the
coiled
fight.
like a spring.
Exactly.
Coiled like a spring.
Exactly. We had bad refereeing early stoppage, and we had the Spider, pulling his dirty moves, whatever. But yeah, Chael could have easily beat him, but it just didn't work out that way, of course. But of course, in the end, it'll work out for Chael. He's about to be the light heavyweight champ. But I could beat the Spider's ass for damn sure. Another person that I can probably take on and defeat in a battle, street fight in the octagon, whatever, one hand tied behind my back, George St. Pierre. That his last fight versus Carlos Condit was a work. Condit did just spar with him for 5 rounds, let him eke out the decision, get the edge. It was total bullshit. That's why I know that George has nothing left. Yeah, he's sitting around there doing gymnastics, flying through the fucking air. Fuck that GSP.
Winning flag twirling competitions up there, and we know how those Canadians are up there.
Yep.
Freaking doing hops and twirls on the gym mats. That's how it goes.
Yep. Let's see him do those backflips and little curly moves, sideways cartwheels, whatever, jumping jacks after he's been punched in the face. All right. You can't do that shit. Gymnastics don't work after thug jitsu. All right. And let's see who else. I could probably kick Ronda Rousey's ass. Just because she's a female, and I just don't think that any female could ever defeat me in combat. I just don't believe that. I don't care who they are. I just don't believe it. Call it sexist or, masochist or whatever. But I honestly don't believe that any woman walking this earth is capable of inflicting injury upon me or hurting me in any way whatsoever. Ninja?
That is where I have to disagree with you. Is Ronda Rousey would walk in this room and look at me and it would knock me out. I would be unconscious, on the ground, shivering in some euphoric world. That'd be it for me.
Yeah,
she just opens her hands up to just reach out to try to punch me or something. Bam! I am on the ground. Let's go. Here we go. We're ground and pounded all. I would do freaking Damian Maya stuff. I would be on the ground and inching towards her on my back. Come on.
Yeah.
That is how I fight Ronda Rousey, and I would lose with the biggest smile on my face.
Yeah, I understand how you can feel that way. She is pretty intimidating at first, until you get her clothes off. And I was hoping I wouldn't have to reveal this shit on the Word on the Street podcast. But let me just say this. I know I could defeat Ronda Rousey in a fight because, and this is all alleged, whatever. Let's just say that may or may not be true, but in bed, I always manage to end up with a choke on her, right? She always gets choked out in bed, so why wouldn't it happen on the octagon? That's the word on the street there, man. I'm sorry to get, a little personal here. Yeah, I understand it's inappropriate. This is a family fucking podcast. But, I mean, the truth is the truth. And that's what we believe in here.
Pulling out some frickin' animalistic mounts and stuff. I could see that happening. Not that I really want to. Don't everybody get their panties in a bunch and send all this mail, but I might be able to pull some animalistic freaking back mounts and stuff, and I'll just leave that as it may, as it lie, so to speak.
I hear you, man. I mean, and just getting back to it, it's just I just don't believe that any woman could actually, lay their hands on me and hurt me in any way. I don't believe it. I don't. Whew.
Providing providing that the sexual results of Chris Cyborg come back saying that she is a man. That's all I got to say about that.
Oh, that's true. And yeah, Cyborg, man, what the fuck is that thing? You see fucking
I don't know. See that your little top there, saying that no woman could beat you. That's true because I don't think Cyborg is. I don't know what Cyborg is, to be
yeah,
honest with you.
yeah, if Cyborg whooped my ass, there would be a fucking asterisk on that fucking record, all right? Like, was it a woman? Like, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'd have to I'd have to see some proof that she was a woman before I conceded defeat to Cyborg, honestly.
I mean, seriously, if it looks like a man, if it talks like a man, if it's got a bigger Adam's apple than most men, if it beats up husbands who are MMA fighters, are you willing to call that a woman? That's straight up.
Yeah, and then Jesus. Tito, what the fuck are you thinking with that press conference, son? Did you see that, Ninja? I know about a
I
week
did
ago.
see that.
Everybody's already had a laugh. If you haven't seen Tito's press conference about Cyborg, just Google or look up on YouTube Tito's fucking press conference. Um, this thing was a goddamn. You'll laugh your ass off, man. It's 15 minutes of an SNL skit. You'll think. The his speaking skills, man, are the equivalent of Clay Guida's fighting style. All right, it was ridiculous. He stumbles over his words. He's making up fucking words and phrases. Tito's a goddamn mess here. It's worth watching if you haven't seen it. Um, but yeah, the whole cyborg thing, man. Do you think that fight with Rousey ever happens, Ninja?
If well, first of all, Cyborg's piss has to change colors from green and purple to normal piss color. I mean, she's gotta be able to pee on a stick and have it be clean first of all, and that might be a stretch right there. There's so many steroids. Half her body, word on the street is half her body is made up of a steroid. I mean,
Yeah.
by now that's just got to be brain tissue is probably made up of steroid. That's just I don't know. And can she ever get down to 135? No.
Hmm.
If she loses a leg, maybe. Fights one-legged or something. But come on.
Yeah, Cyborg is claiming she doesn't want to lose that weight because it either A might kill her or B she might never be able to have babies. Fucking Cyborg, man, you've taken TRT when you're not even supposed to have the T. You've taken so much of that shit. There ain't even nothing left in you to make babies, and we all know it. I'd put money on it. There ain't no baby making left in that body. You've juiced that shit out to hell, Cyborg. You're not kidding anybody. I think the fight will probably happen because, money's money, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. And she'll probably hit Ronda in the face and hurt her pretty bad. I mean, shit, I'd just do the same thing that Liz did, except I wouldn't let go of the choke, man. Like I said, I saw Ronda fucking tap, man. I believe it. I believe that Liz Carmouche is the rightful women's bantamweight UFC champion right now. I think she got screwed, man. It was what's known as a Brazilian tap by Ronda Rousey. A Brazilian tap.
No,
Look it up.
no,
I
no.
saw that shit.
Ronda Ronda Rousey, she was hurting. She was asleep for a minute and just had a flashback of our last Saturday night. I was in the same position that Carmouche was. She started caressing my very muscular and ample knee, just like she did then. I saw it. She even muttered my name. You can replay it 1,000 times. She says the word ninja.
Hmm.
Um, that's just what happened. We've spoke since then, and we are gonna have babies on top of a mountain. That's just the plain and simple of that.
Yeah, all right. I'll release her to you if that's the case. You guys have an arrangement. I'll let her off my leash for now. I'll let you borrow Rhonda. Why not? I got Misha coming up here in a couple minutes, man. And actually, yeah, it is time to wrap up this podcast. But did you have anything else, Ninja, that you wanted to discuss? Maybe in the UFC, MMA world that I'm missing? Maybe something we forgot? I don't even fucking know at this point. I'll check for if any new headlines have broken here on my little, I got a secret little rumor filter here set up online. Let me just check my traps right now. But did you have anything else, Ninja?
Just that Joe Rogan might call his penis Bigfoot, but that's a Twitter thing. If you want more information on that, get on Twitter, find out what that's about.
Shout out to Joe Rogan out there doing what he does. He has the best podcast at this time. But sooner or later, I will have the best MMA podcast. There's going to be a difference there. And hopefully we'll have Joe on the show sometime. I don't fucking know. Maybe his little sidekick Red Band. I talk to him every now and then. I'll try to get him on. Also, tomorrow, my Tuesday After Tough podcast as usual. We're working out some Team Sun and fighters, and as always, we're gonna have Coach Jamie, the living legend Huey, on with us. Stay tuned to the Word on the Street podcast. Just follow the Aunt Jimmy Show on Twitter, or follow Ninja. Ninja, where can they follow you on Twitter?
At Real Last Outlaw.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. At Real Last Outlaw. That is the Ninja. Again, it's been a pleasure, as always, just bringing you the latest UFC rumors and news, in this case, just shit talking. No real rumors or news today, but hopefully you enjoyed the fucking broadcast. Sorry for all the cursing. It is a fucking family podcast, I know that. But we'll come at you next time tomorrow, actually, but, just stay tuned. Follow us on Twitter. That's how you know when all this shit goes down. Thank you, Ninja. Thank you, everybody. And good night.
Good night.